Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Durham Public Schools Board of Education to order. It's January 23rd, 2014. And we are now convened in our regular monthly meeting. And I want to extend a warm welcome to everyone present and to our television viewers to this meeting of the school board tonight. Tonight's agenda promises to be rich in information that will support and enhance our vision statement. Standing committees of the board will present information and reports that will keep you informed on what the district is doing to ensure that our vision of success for every child is realized. The board invites public comment at the beginning of the board meeting and before each agenda item. Board members will carefully listen to and consider the comments of the public, but the board does not engage in a discussion with speakers at this meeting. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We are very glad to have you with us. And please join us now for a moment of silence.
Madam Chair, may I ask if while we having a moment of silence, and you might have it in your comments, that
Please go ahead, Pastor.
we would at this time in our moment of silence remember former County Commissioner Becky Herron and her family.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for saying that for us. Let's observe a moment of silence. All right, thank you very much. Item 3 on our agenda is Be Our Guest. Lee Bordley.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. It is my honor to welcome families of students here to be with us tonight and welcome any parents who might be at home watching on TV. We're so blessed to have wonderful, wonderful families in our district. I know I had dinner tonight with parents that I told them we were going to have to put them on a panel to help other parents understand how to raise children who love to read and love to learn. They were just so inspiring and made me really excited about the work that we have before us tonight and the work we have before us for the year 2014. So I'm going to ask board members to come to the floor, and I'm going to call parents up to come and walk the red carpet. All right, first I'd like to ask parents from Bethesda Elementary School to come right this way and please shake board members' hands and walk the red carpet. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, next I'd like to ask family members of students at Forest View Elementary School to come on down. Hey, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks for being here. Good ideas. All right, and I know that we have parents here from the Southern School of Energy and Sustainability. You being here. That's great. Yeah, really nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. All right. And my table, which I'm telling y'all, these are model parents, Northern High School. It was great talking with you. Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. Were you going to go? You want to go after that?
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's my pleasure to walk us through one of our favorite parts of the evening, celebrations. So we will start off tonight with two recognitions, just one recognition of our Duke University and Durham Public Schools Student of the Month. To start with, I'd like to ask City of Medicine High School Assistant Principal Shermer to come up and introduce our student.
Thank you so much. I'm Andy Shermer, and I'm the assistant principal at City of Medicine Academy, and I had to bring my cheat sheet because I didn't want to leave anything out of all the great things that I have to say about Tyler Booker. He is a student who has a 4.0 GPA. He's in the top 15% of the class at CMA, and he has done this while he has kept a job and practices and is quite and excels actually in martial arts. He's taken several AP courses and honors courses at CMA, so he's had quite a rigorous academic experience at CMA while he's done all these things. He additionally gains a great deal of respect from his classmates and from teachers, and I think largely he gets this respect because he's a very respectful person. He's a very polite, kind, respectful student, and I think that others appreciate it and reciprocate it back to him, both his peers and the adults alike. So one of the experiences that happens at CMA for many of our kids who qualify are that they get to go out and they get to experience a clinical experience, actually go out into a healthcare setting and actually be supervised and work. And so for some high schoolers, that's quite a overwhelming experience because it can be very chaotic and very real. So he went to do the clinical experience, and his clinical supervisor said this about him when he finished that experience. During Tyler's internship at Durham Regional, in one of the busiest environments, an emergency room, Tyler welcomed the challenges and became a team player. He assisted with discharge, taking patients to their cars, as well as cleaning and setting up rooms for the patients. He has demonstrated the vigor, strength, determination, and fortitude to excel even in difficult and challenging time without making excuses. I think that really summarizes a lot of what I have to say about Tyler. He's just a very positive team player, accountable, committed, has great integrity, and I'm actually very proud to have him represent CMA as he receives this award.
Good job.
Very nice.
We love you. Oh,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Do I go down the line?
Family, please join. Thank you. Please do, please do.
Oh, wonderful son. So glad y'all are in Durham Public Schools.
Thank you. We would now like to recognize a DPS teacher who will receive a special award for being an outstanding teacher of the gifted. I'll ask Beth Cross, who is our Director of Advanced Studies, to join me. Yep.
Good evening. I'm pleased to present to you Mr. Jeff Witt, who is the AIG facilitator at Carrington Middle School. Jeff came to us 4 years ago from Dare County, and I'm glad he hasn't looked back. I hope he never does. What Jeff has brought to Carrington Middle School and the Gifted program this year, he became the AIG facilitator, is definitely energy and ramping up the rigor. That's something that he's worked on. But what I'd like to do is turned over to Holly in a second, but I just got word last week, or actually on Monday, that Jeff has not only the Outstanding Teacher of the Gifted of the Year for DPS, he is a finalist for the NCAGT, Outstanding Gifted of the Teacher of the Year. It's a mouthful. With the North Carolina Association for Gifted and Talented. So he is a finalist. We will find out at the end of February 28th, if he wins the award statewide. So kudos to you, Jeff. I do have a plaque here, or a certificate. Durham Public Schools recognizing Jeffrey Witt, Outstanding Teacher of the Gifted, for your strong commitment to gifted education through professional experiences, professional organizations, and service in the area of gifted education. It's truly a pleasure. And I think Holly would like to speak, Miss Emanuel would like to speak to what he's done for Carrington.
Good evening. Just have a little bit I'm going to say. I did write it down so I wouldn't mess up because I'm so proud of Jeff. First, I'd like to congratulate Jeff on behalf of the entire CMS staff and student body. Jeff has worked hard this year to identify AIG students. He has started an AIG task force for our AIG parents, as well as providing professional development for teachers working with these students. He has created and sustained a number of programs to ensure the success of AIG students as well as non-AIG students. He goes above and beyond the call of duty to ensure all students are challenged. I call him personally to help me with my own children, so Jeff is definitely a resource that we lean on at Carrington. I just want to applaud him for his efforts, and we are thankful that he's a part of the CMS family.
It's now time for us to celebrate our community partners who provide support to our students and for our school improvement efforts. Tonight, Rick Sheldall, Director of Career and Technical Education, will introduce us to Triangle eCycle.
Thank you very much. Hello, wonderful leaders. There's something written down for me to read too, but I decided not to put my glasses on, so I can't see it. Plus, he wrote it, so I want to say what I want to say. Larry Hurst and Triangle eCycling came into my life about 1.5 years ago. And at first, he was a pain in my tuchus. And he kept being persistent, and he is now one of my most valued partners in what I do. And what he has done for us is not only done work with our system to help our system in every single one of our buildings, but he has become an integral partner for me with developing internships. And he has had several of our students from Hillside, from Major Coleman's program over there, and from Southern School Energy and Sustainability. You haven't had anybody from Riverside, have you? Okay. But it's been a multiple number of young men so far that he's had over there. Some of them have been some real success stories, students who we put over there kind of as a last-ditch effort to get them excited, and they've done it. And one of the other things that makes this even more dear to my heart is the young man standing next to him is Oleg Napluev, who was one of my students. And so it's really nice not being in the classroom anymore that at least I have some contact to some of the things that we did. And he's doing a wonderful job training the interns. So, Larry, thank you so much. That's not it. Oh, you can give it to him.
Larry, thank you. Pleasure.
Nice to see you. Larry has a company called Triangle eCycling, and what they do is they recycle electronics in a very environmentally good way. And so he's taking stuff out of our schools that used to pile up and we didn't have the resources to put in places and they were stuck in warehouses. He takes them, doles them out to facilities who will use them properly or refits the computers so that we can give them to other kids. So John Avery Boys and Girls Club has gotten some. They also do some recycling on eBay to keep profits And the other beautiful thing is he gives us 10% of his profits back, which have been benefiting the hub farm, because one environmentally good thing to another environmentally good thing. So that's his business. And that's his wife and son over there, and that's Mr. Napuev, Oleg's son.
These are the people that I think it should be recognized. These schools were all reconciled.
Okay, but just these three are here, correct?
No, 4 Durham School Boards.
Ashley?
No, just this teacher.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have a special recognition. I'm going to hand it over to Superintendent Osteen, but first I'd like to ask for some of our special guests to join us. They will be assisting us. We have with us tonight some student artists and their teachers. We have student art in all of these bags that you guys are about to get, and I'm going to read off to you the schools that are represented, and then I'm going to recognize our students. So from Burton Elementary, Jordan Hedgepeth and his teacher, Suzanne Brown. And if you guys just want to hang out here for a moment, oh, that's okay. That's okay, too. From Hope Valley Elementary, and we'll wait to hand the bags until our superintendent has a few words, but from Hope Valley Elementary, David Alonzo Moraz and his teacher, Ann Molink. From Durham School of the Arts, we have our art teacher, Larry Downing. From Little River Elementary, Sydney Hawkins and teacher Barbie Bailey Smith. And then we also have art represented from Sandy Ridge Elementary and from Southern High School. Mr. Osteen?
Thank you, Chrissy. These will be very few words, and unlike Rick, I did bring my glasses. January is School Board Appreciation Month in North Carolina. So serving on a board on a Board of Education is a unique challenge. That's no surprise to you guys. Balancing all the needs of students, staff, and families. Thank you for your long hours, your thoughtful discussions, your support of our teachers and the DPS family. And this time, we'd like for the students to come forward and give you a token of our appreciation to you. It includes their own art. Students?
Family, we hope y'all got something like these. I don't know. That is wonderful. Minnie's really good with grandsons. All right, let's start. All right.
That's it.
first thing I thought of. Oh, all of a sudden, grandma.
What a wonderful celebration. That is really the best gift ever. Thank you so much to all of our staff and students who recognized us in that special way. So, let's see. That brings us to item 5, the superintendent's update, Mr. Osteen.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carter. I would like to share a few positive comments from all the activities that are going on and have been going on. We do have a strong team here in the DPS family, and I would like to share a few recaps of what's been happening. First of all, in the information technology area, we had a very successful, though little known, transfer of our data servers to our on-site data center to an off-site location. It's something that you guys approved, and the reason it's such a great deal is because we didn't know much about it. IT staff worked over the weekends and holidays and long hours to make it all happen, so I'm very grateful for them to do that. Yes. Kudos to the IT staff. Another clear sign of great teamwork by the DPS family is about proctoring. We found ourselves, because of state requirements, to be very short on proctors for recent tests, and Central Services all pretty much put it on the table and said, we're going to help. And we came up with over 100 proctors from DPS Central Services to help the school cause. Wow. And that's just an incredible sign of teamwork. People enjoyed the experience, people got a lot out of it and got a chance to be in the schools, and that was a very positive thing for us. The next item was about a middle school event. On January 11th, we had a expo at Rogers Her. The weather was bad, but the crowd was great. We had a lot of good turnout for it. Great leadership by the middle school folks and by Dr. Spencer, and we appreciate all those who helped. I think it was a very successful event. One sad note, but positive for her. She's actually not with us this evening because of a family issue, but we're sorry to be losing the retirement of Dr. Tina Hester. But we know that she will have a joyful retirement. She is looking forward to family and friends. And I just wanted to personally thank her for her service from all of us. Winter graduation occurred this week. We had a very successful commencement ceremony. About 85 students graduated. I think most of you were there. A very full auditorium at DSA and a very happy crowd to be graduating. And it was a great experience to enjoy. And then the last thing I just wanted to share, we do have a magnet school application period. It's still ongoing. This is just some information for everybody. Goes on through the end of the month. Magnet and traditional schools are offering open houses and tours through the end of the month, and we're just excited to be able to show off our schools to the public. And that concludes those comments.
Thank you, Mr. Osteen. Those were great comments. A good highlight of the many positive things that are going on in Durham Public Schools and the many positive ways in which we are a family and have such good teamwork. Thank you for that. The next item on our agenda is agenda review and approval.
Madam Chair, I'd like to offer a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of the first item under closed session, which states to consider confidential student information protected under NCGS 11-5C-402, the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, if we could remove that, and that's the motion.
All right. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve this agenda. And in so doing, we're going to remove the first bulleted point under closed session that deals with the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. Those in favor say aye. 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 Any opposed? It is unanimous. That brings us to item 7, which is general public comment. We have 2 people signed up to speak to us tonight. Our first speaker, and you may have 3 minutes, our first speaker is Jacqueline Turnwald.
Good evening to the board. My name is Jackie Turnwald, and I am proud to be here this evening to present a letter from teachers, facilitators, and support staff at the School for Creative Studies. Before reading the letter, we would like to publicly thank the Club Boulevard School for their leadership regarding the 25% tenure elimination contracts. They have provided a beautiful framework for others to follow their lead. That being said, the teachers at the School for Creative Studies, like the teachers at Club Boulevard, are committed to developing all of our students into thoughtful and responsible lifelong learners. We devote our full intellectual abilities to providing high-quality instruction that not only builds students' intellect, but their character as well. We seek to maintain positive relationships with all the families at our school, and we recognize the intrinsic worth of every student and every family. We are colleagues and collaborators working together to help our students succeed, and we believe, without any doubt or hesitation, that giving tenure bonuses to 25% of our faculty is 100% misguided. The student, educator, and staff population at the School for Creative Studies is incredibly diverse. Our students, like the students at all schools, benefit from the distinct teaching styles and skills that our faculty possesses. Some students gain most from after-school tutoring offered by a classroom teacher. Some excel during elective instruction in art or film production. Some depend upon small group instruction with an exceptional children's teacher. Which of these teachers should be rewarded for being the best? We believe that the improvement of teacher quality in public schools can only come through meaningful support of all schools, teachers, and students, not through divisive and inconsequential honors for a few. In fact, our foundational concepts, creativity, communication, community, and collaboration, are directly contradicted by this legislative initiative. The teachers at the School for Creative Studies hope to work with Durham Public Schools and with our colleagues across the state to ensure the ongoing improvement of our common educational goals and standards. We know that competing with each other for a few $100s of funds will not improve anything. In some venues, competition can be an effective motivator, but we feel strongly that schools should not be one of those venues. Competition among faculty members is not likely to push teachers to work harder or smarter. Instead, competition asks teachers to be more focused on the individual and to care less about the educational outcomes within their schools and communities. Additionally, if the legislature believes that cash bonuses or personal glory is what motivates educators, they have grossly misjudged their audience. Our faculty cares deeply about the success of all our students. We will not permit the level of care to be jeopardized because teachers are being pitted against one another. The School for Creative Studies, our teachers are united in the belief that collaboration among colleagues provides the best avenue to strengthen our schools. The statute requiring the dispersal of tenure bonus funds to the top 25% is unclear. We thank the school board for their recent resolution regarding the 25% contracts and hope that they'll continue to embrace their position as advocates for our schools. We encourage them to seek a creative and effective way to challenge this potentially divisive and harmful statute, and we ask that all citizens contemplate the words of Henry David Thoreau in his essay, Civil Disobedience. Must the citizen ever for a moment, or in the least degree, resign his conscience to the legislator? Why has every man a conscience then? I think that we should be men first and subjects afterward. 24 teachers, facilitators, and staff members at our school have signed the letter, which I will present to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Turnwald. We're proud of our teachers and your advocacy on behalf of your profession, and we stand with you. Our next speaker is Andrea Underwood.
Good evening, Superintendent Osteen, Madam Chair, Board. First, I'd like to thank Jackie and the staff at Creative Studies for composing and for collaborating such a beautifully written open letter to the school board tonight. The Executive Board and membership of Durham Association of Educators applauds the Durham Public Schools Board of Education and is encouraged to sign NCAE's resolution against divisive 25% contracts. As a board, you should take pride in your leadership and being one of 3 school boards to collectively act on the behalf of every child's teacher, and that would include New Hanover and Pitt counties. It is now time for educators within the district to support the board, the students, and the profession in which they have committed to serve by joining NCAE and Organized 2020 Caucus in the statewide Decline to Sign campaign and Day of Action on February 5th. I have flyers available. So what can you do? If you're not a member of NCAE, please join and help us fight against this demoralizing law. Plan a school-wide activity for a statewide Day of Action on February 5th. Download all of the materials you need, which can be found at ncae.org/decline to sign. Sign the petition to increase student funding and teacher pay at organized2020.com/take action. And on February 5th, wear red and use social media to post pictures holding a sign that includes #decline2sign and your school's name and city. And then tag the photo #decline2sign. Ask every faculty member, such as those at Club, DSA, and Creative Studies, and many others that are starting, to ask every faculty member to add their name to the Decline to Sign pledge against 25% contracts. And then lastly, if you have not already done so, visit former Governor Jim Hunt's teacher pay campaign website at aimhighernc.com. Remember, decline to sign. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. You're doing a great job in your role. Is there a way that you can email us that information?
Yes, ma'am. I did email everyone before.
Okay. I haven't checked my email since 2:30 when I picked you up. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. That brings us to item 8, Board of Education meeting minutes. The minutes from December 16th, 2013, special meeting, open and closed sessions. Minutes from December 17th, 2013, joint Board of Education, Board of County Commissioners quarterly meeting, and the minutes from December 19th, 2013, regular meeting, open and closed sessions are all being presented to us tonight for approval. Board members, is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded that we approve these three sets of minutes. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? It's unanimous. Sorry. Board members, that brings us to the consent agenda. These items came to us in one of our 3 committees, and they are now before us on consent. And the first item is the 2013-14 local options for alternative schools. Item B is acquisition of real property at W.G. Pearson Middle School. Item C is Mangum Elementary School change order for administrative suite. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move approval.
Those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It is unanimous. And now we are at the reports of the committees. And tonight we have a report from the Support Services Committee, and Ms. Omega Parker is our chair of that committee.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. We have one item coming from the Support Services Committee, and this is revised policy 4403. And it's pertaining to headlights, and this is the second reading. Dr. Pittman?
So this is our first presentation to the board. However, the policy is looking at updating our existing policy to be more in line with the American Association of Pediatrics and the National Association of School Nurses. And basically, our old policy said with the existence of any egg or nit, a student would be excluded from school and sent home. And the best practice coming out of the medical community is telling school districts that nits are not the threat as much as the live lice itself. And so our policy is reflecting that. And indeed, if a student is found with a live lice, that they would go home. But we would also provide prevention strategies and support to parents. And also that nit, if it's a quarter of an inch or closer to the scalp, those would also be considered a risk variable that we would want to also get the support of parents and have treatment before the student could continue in school. So our policy reflects that, and Dr. Rick Lemke has worked with, supervises and works with our school nurses, and he's here to address any questions we may have.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Pittman and Dr. Lemke, for working on this policy for us. We're trying to be good public health stewards and at the same time keep our children in school. Board members, do you have any questions about this policy?
Madam Chair, if it is in order, I move that we approve policy 4403.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve revised policy 4403, head lice. Is there any discussion?
Just briefly, I think one reason we said we wanted to bring this to our full board meeting instead of just putting it on consent for action was an opportunity to educate our community about some of the resources that are available to them if they are a family dealing with, like many of us have, head lice. So Dr. Pittman or Dr. Lemke, would you mind sharing just anything we have available either through school websites or our district website and other resources?
Sure, I'll let Dr. Lemke share that with us.
Using the same resources that Dr. Pittman cited and other expertise that we're gathering, we are preparing a document that will be posted to the Durham Public Schools website in a section that has not yet been determined, so that it is available to parents, you know, as a response to the information that came up with the committee.
And of course, we're relying a great deal on our principals and school staff to help us with this, because we know that we do not have the recommended number of nurses per student in this district or in any district in North Carolina. And we would like to have more nurses to help us with issues like these, but we're doing an admirable job of managing it as we are going along.
And just to echo what Dr. Lemke shared, the resources that we're developing will address treatment recommendations, prevention strategies, where to go to get more assistance. So we're really trying to provide a comprehensive resource listing for families, in addition to what the school already provides when a family is faced with this challenge.
And this is a best practice recommendation from the American Academy of Pediatrics or some other
and the National School Association of School Nurses.
So that's important, I believe, for us to note. It's the best practice.
And consistent with other LEAs across North Carolina.
Very good.
Right.
And our health department recommended it as
And our
well.
health department worked with Dr. Lemke to develop this, yes.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions or discussion?
I really appreciate the parent that brought this to our attention, and that you all being so responsive to that concern, and knowing that this will help get our kids back in school, which is
without compromising risk. Right. Yes.
And get them back in school when they're healthy, so that they don't infect other children. Yes.
Well said.
Pastor Davis said he was starting to itch, so we're going to move right along. All right, board members, it's been moved and seconded that we approve revised policy 4403. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
Okay, board members, now that brings us to item 11, which is a discussion of the superintendent search. Minnie and I and Mr. Osteen wanted to have this on the agenda in case there was something to report. I don't really think that much has happened since last week when we asked the administration to put together the RFPs and begin to solicit interest in helping us with the search process from search firms. Mr. Osteen, is there anything?
We have made a little bit of progress.
Okay.
We've gotten together, and Ms. Pearson, I think with the assistance of Mr. Sue, has developed a notice to people who provide that type of service. 5 of the firms, I think, were ones we addressed before, 4 years ago. 5 additional firms. We are sending that email requesting a proposal from them due, I believe, on the 31st. So it's a quick turnaround. We're asking for their proposal, for their cost, their timeline, so you will then have a beginning place to start.
Fabulous. Wonderful. And we even have a date. You know, we can feel the forward progress towards January 31st. I also wanted to distribute to all board members something that I received in the mail from McPherson and Jacobson LLC. It's a national search firm. It's the same search firm that Wake County happened to use, and they sent me a packet, and that's the brochure that was included in the packet for your information.
And my first comment would be that there's absolutely no diversity in the children that they have on here. So that would be, I question, well, okay, on the inside, I'm sorry. I didn't see it on the outside. Okay. Cancel.
That's it.
Withdraw. Could I ask a question, please, Madam Chair?
Indeed.
Can maybe Ms. Pearson or Hugh, I don't know, someone explain to me the mechanisms and explain to the public the mechanisms by which a search firm that we don't contact proactively would learn of our need for our potential need for their service?
I think it'd be much like, maybe Mr. Sue can help me here, it'd be much like a bidding process that's under a certain regulation where you don't have to put out public bids on it. You have a selected few and then they can get prices from them.
Well, the direction from the board was to solicit from the 5 you'd offered last time and 5 additional, and that's what's going to happen. As you can see already, firms like this follow the news. They're aware that you're looking, and they're already contacting you. You could take additional steps, but I think you're going to have plenty of choices.
Okay, but you just think through the news in general.
Well, if you wanted to add one other thing, I suppose we could put something on our website that tells anybody who goes to the website that if you want to submit a proposal, do it by the 31st, and this is what it needs to contain. But that isn't what we've been directed to do up to this point.
That's fine. I just wanted to clarify. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah.
Comments? Yes.
Yeah, I thought it might be helpful also for the public to know the kinds of things maybe that, just quickly, that we talked about at our last special meeting. That was a special meeting, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And because it wasn't televised. So, like, for example, we all showed an interest in receiving materials from a past search, and the veterans on the board informed us of the plethora of opportunities they took to engage various stakeholders, and so we just were all going to kind of hopefully get that kind of material so we could familiarize ourselves with some of the opportunities to do that. Is there anything else? I just thought maybe the public would like to know some of the things that we're doing as board members getting ready for this process. So does anyone else remember?
Well, we did receive a booklet recently, Searching for Super, with guidelines for school boards as far as the preparation phase and what to look for in a search firm, and just a framework for how we will approach this, including developing a candidate profile, including leadership attributes, personal traits, employment experiences that we might be seeking in a superintendent. So these will be some of our next steps, taking it sort of one step at a time. We did decide to put the RFP out and to make a decision about a search firm. I guess we have pretty much decided we will use some search firm to assist us. We will not be doing it either by ourselves as a board or by ourselves as an administration. So we did make that decision. And so that we'll be waiting for the January 31st date, and then we'll continue on with the process, and we will better define it as we go along. But I think we all have a general idea now of what our framework within which we're operating is.
Sounds good. Thanks.
And that search does include external and internal candidates.
Very good. Yes, indeed. All right. I think that's probably it for the update. All right. Thank you. Board members, that brings us to item 12, closed session. And I need a motion to go into closed session to consider to consider personnel matters and to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel records pursuant to 143-318.11A1-6 and 115C-319, and also to consult with the board attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statute 318.11A3.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we go into closed session for those reasons stated. Those in favor say aye. Aye. It is unanimous, and we are now in closed session. Thank you all. Mr. Osteen, do you have a recommendation for us?
I'd like to submit the board personnel report from January 23rd, 2014 with one correction where we had the same person listed twice. We'll make that correction for your consideration.
All right, board members, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the recommendation, the personnel report.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the personnel report for January 23rd, 2014. It's been seconded also. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Great. Thank you very much to everyone who is still with us and who watched us tonight. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
Now, this is a good
Thank you,
sign.
thank you.
You stay on the board if we did everything. That's what